Well, here we are, Meet the Maker, and I'm with Rachel Boleyn, and I'm Eleanor Julie Wilson, and my business is EllyJules. So, Rachel, I'm going to ask you a question. My first question for you is, I love the colours of your jewellery, and what is your favourite stone or colour to work with?
Well, I have to say, I always thought my favourite colour was purple until I started working with fused glass, and I've just become obsessed with blue. So any kind of shade of blue, turquoise and cobalt blues and sort of bluey greens, jades and teals and things like that. So really, that's my thing at the moment. And there's quite a when you look at my Instagram page or my shop, there's often quite a lot of turquoisey sort of blue colours on there, because I just keep coming back to them. Because they're just beautiful. But I'm trying really hard to sort of use lots of different colours as well, because there's just obviously so many lovely colours. But yeah, they're the ones that I personally keep coming back to.
I think they're my favourite too. Yeah, they are beautiful.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, they look so clean, don't they?
Yeah, and I think they do go with quite a lot of things as well. So I think, because I never thought I was a blue person, but they just sort of add a really nice accent to other things. And so I think turquoise, if I had to pick, turquoise is probably the winner at the moment.
Can't agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. So shall I ask you a question?
Yeah.
I just was sort of interested really in just how you got into how your business sort of became, how it came about, how you got into all this beautiful, wonderful textile work that you do.
Well, I've always sewn. I love sewing. I like creating things, and so when I started doing the little business, I quickly started moving on to ethically sourced fabrics and doing recycled ones. And so it's quite a few years ago I started doing recycled fabric onto scarves, and it went from there, making bags and different things. And then I wanted to get into wool, and found Abraham Moon, and they insist on ethical farming practices. So that started the wool cushions and the wool handbags and things. So and now I'm doing recycled coffee sacks as well. So anything.
Yeah, they're really interesting. It's like very different. I've not seen anything like that before. They're great.
Thank you.
To say.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely lovely. Cool.
Right. And and our team knows this is one of my coffee sacks I just made just this week, actually.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
With organic calico, or inside this one there is a recycled curtain fabric. So the whole thing's recycled.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it's so nice to be able to recycle things, and that's something I like about working in glass, actually. That I am sort of trying to do things with recycled glass bottles and recycle float glass from the picture framing that I do, and that's kind of one side, because that kind of is what got me into it in the first place. That I thought I wanted to.
Really?
I do picture framing, and I was like, I've got all these little scraps of float glass, I must be able to do something with them. And so I thought I'll see if I can do some kind of fused glass jewellery with it. Very quickly discovered that the float glass isn't compatible with the nice coloured glass. So then got a little bit addicted to buying very lovely glass to use for the coloured work, but I'm still kind of behind the scenes working on ways to use the float glass. But the great thing about glass generally is if I make something and it doesn't quite work, you can chop things up and refire them and repurpose them, and so nothing ever really goes to waste. So although I might be buying in glass when initially I intended on just using recycled glass, I'm not wasting any of it. Every tiny little scrap of it at some point will get used, because it can just be reused, which is a really nice thing. It's a great medium to work with from that point of view. It's
that's fantastic. So so our two businesses are kind of quite similar then in that sense.
Yeah, I think so, and I definitely want to go more down that sort of recycled route, because I think while I was learning how to do it, I sort of went off and bought the proper glass for using for fusing, and I'm learning lots of different techniques, and I've still got loads to learn because I've only been doing it about a year. But I'm now sort of getting lots of ideas of things that I think I'll be able to do. Now I'm learning you know, how to do it. I've now got a brand new kiln that I've got to learn how to use as well. So
Brilliant.
once I've got to grips with that. But yeah, that's definitely the direction I really want to go, is have a sort of a range that is specifically using recycled glass, and you know, there's lots of things I think I can do with things like that once I've kind of learned a few more techniques. So
Yeah, well, lovely. What's your favourite thing about crafting then?
I think really it's just a real kind of mindful thing for me. So I kind of got into it. I've always been quite artistic, so I used to draw and paint constantly when I was young, and I do from time to time do paintings, but I find them a bit stressful because I can't usually finish one in one sitting. So I'll kind of get to a point where I think, okay, I have to stop now, and then I'm a bit scared of coming back to it because I don't want to ruin it. So I've got so many unfinished paintings, and so I'm not really focusing so much on that now, because I've kind of found that with the glass, although there are some things I do that take quite a few different processes, so it might go in the kiln and then I need to do some grinding and reshaping, and then I'll refire it, and so there might be lots of stages, but I can at least finish each stage in one go, and some of the things just come out how I want them first time. So I think that's one of the things I really like about this particular craft, is that I can kind of make a finished piece really quickly, because I'm quite impatient and don't like waiting around. But also for me, it's kind of, when I first started, I was sort of struggling a little bit with anxiety and sort of general sort of mental health issues, and just to have something really calming that I can just sort of focus on quietly, just work away, helps. So singing in my choir is the other sort of thing I do that that again sort of gives me that kind of, takes me out of all the things I'm worrying about, and you're just focusing on that for that time. But yeah, it's just that kind of, if I just feel a bit stressed, especially now I've got this beautiful studio that I've just had built in my garden, I can just come in here and just feel calm and just think, I've just half an hour, I'll just do something, and it will just clear my brain, I think, of all the sort of day job worries and things that are going on. So yeah, it's a real kind of, it's just really good for the soul, I think, isn't it? Being creative generally is just a lovely thing.
Absolutely, yeah, totally agree. I mean, my piano obviously is my big love of my life, and that's me on an evening when I finish teaching. I'll often get on the piano and just sit and put the headphones on and just play for an hour or two, and just play my favourite pieces. Love it.
I think music and art are the two things really that I just think, even if you're no good at it, doesn't matter. It's just so good for you to get into those kind of things, definitely. So I've got something else I want to ask you, particularly because it's looking at me on your shelf behind you. I absolutely love your Herdwick cushions. What was the inspiration behind those? When did you first think, well, we want to make a herdy cushion?
I was thinking about doing animal cushions, because I've done a couple, and I thought, I'd like to do a range, but I wanted it to be completely unique. And I decided, first of all, I was going to do it on wool. And then it was, well, am I just going to put animals on there? And I thought, well, no, how about animals wearing hats? And then the title came Beasties in Bonnets. And so it sort of went from there. And my first one was a retriever, and then I did a whippet. So the retriever was wearing a deer stalker. He's called Sherlock. And then eventually I came into the Herdwick sheep, because the Herdwick sheep is my favourite sheep of all. I love the Lake District, so every time we go up I shout, hello my herdies.
I'm exactly the same. I'm a bit obsessed with herdies.
So that one is really unique because her body is also made with Herdwick fleece.
So I wondered if it was. It looked like, because it's got that kind of lovely Herdwick look about it. So I wondered if it was.
And then I knit her hat as well with Herdwick yarn.
They're so lovely. And I love the faces, because you sort of do slightly different expressions, and they've just got their own little characters, I think, haven't they?
Well, they're all limited edition, but even inside the limited edition, each one is different from the other, as you say, because of the different colour fabrics and a different cut, then the expressions on their faces as well. But yeah, the herdies are my favourite ones to do. They're involved, but take a couple of days to the entire process with the felting and then needle felting and knitting and stuff, but definitely worth it. Yeah.
Oh, they're absolutely adorable. I really love them. And yeah, Herdies are just, I'm obsessed with them as well. And I'm thinking, I'm sure I can at some point design some kind of glass thing with a Herdie. I'm just, yeah, that's percolating in my mind.
Right. Oh, do you know, I think I've done my questions with you, because when I was going to ask you what inspired you to start making jewellery, but you've done that already.
Okay, I have. Sorry, I went off on a tangent, and
that's okay. No, it's brilliant.
Well, I had another question I wanted to ask you, because looking at your Instagram, I've seen that you've been talking about an offer that you've got on. So I just wondered if you could just talk a little bit about that and explain what that's all about.
Well, with the coronavirus, it's obviously been so difficult for a lot of people, and we've all talked about spreading the love and in different ways, food banks and stuff. So I just wanted to help a little bit at Christmas as well. And so the offer I'm doing is, if people buy 3 items from me, I will donate a 4th item, and they can either have that item sent to them, or they can ask me to send it to an organisation or a particular person. So it's just about spreading the love. And so like, I've got these little pots I've made. These are organic cotton. They're £4. And I've got little face masks. They're £3 organic. Love these. I use mine every day. And then there's a little stocking. That's organic fleece. That this tie on the end there is plaited string from the coffee sacks that I recycle. So that's 3 items there. £4, £7, £9.50 for those 3, and then you get a free item worth about £3.50 or something like that. So it's all stuff that can help just spread. So whatever you want to spend, I will equal that amount. So
that's lovely.
Take the average from 3, and then that's what I will spend on a gift for.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's really good. It's it's such a difficult time at the moment, isn't it? So it's nice to be able to find a way that you can spread the love a little bit.
Yeah, it's just trying to help people wherever you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think we are done, but hope to see everybody at the Etsy market on the 5th and 6th of December. So it'd be lovely to see you again as well, and lots of crafters and lots of lovely customers.
Yes,
miss very much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.